Everybody give a warm welcome to Barbara from SCL Equipment Financing.
All righty. My goodness gracious. It's so nice to see you. My name is Barbara Griffith. I'm the president of a finance company. It's an equipment finance company, so we finance business equipment. We specialize in the audio-video broadcasting industry. And we have done so for 32 years, and I am the founder of the company. Just to give you a little background, about 30-some years ago, I walked into NAB, and I looked at the type of people at NAB, and I said, this is my kind of town. And I started to create all kinds of different financing programs for the broadcast industry. And it just really hit, and it hit well. And what I love about this industry is the fact that you're hard workers, entrepreneurs, starting off, and trying to understand how to do it yourself. So today is going to be really informational. It's going to have a lot of stuff impacted in a very short period of time. You probably would take a year to learn this in school, so you may not get it all, and that's okay. What I want you to do is when you walk out these doors today, to be excited that you know more now how to start a business than your peers. What are the benefits of owning your own business? Well, for me, it was very difficult to tell me what to do. So I wasn't really a good candidate to work for somebody. Okay, not that I knew it all, and I loved what Dan said, because I wasn't afraid to make mistakes as long as they're not what? Catastrophic. And as long as I did, I kept learning on the way. So you get to be your own boss, right? You get to make your own decisions. You have unlimited income. Remember, entrepreneurs can make their own way in life financially. All right? You get to meet all kinds of wonderful people, and you get to create. Now, being a successful entrepreneur, what does it take? It takes a good idea. Now, let me tell you what a good idea is. If you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Okay? I was talking to Lisa. By the way, Lisa is the rep here for the equipment finance industry. I apologize I didn't introduce you, but she says she likes to go to the rodeo, and she has a passion for that. And ding dong, I'm thinking, how many people are in documentaries for rodeos? Probably not a lot. How many people are in documentaries for other things? Probably a lot. Find your niche and keep trying different niches. It's like when my husband goes to the Whole Foods and he follows the cars to find a parking spot. And I'm like, please don't do that. Go where they're not looking for the parking spot, okay? Don't follow the other people already looking for the parking spot. Please don't do that, okay? So find your own niche, right? You have to have dedication. So that's what I say. Find something you love to do. You will create dedication through what you love to do, right? Listen to me. Find out something you liked to do as a kid. What did you like to do when you were a kid? And try to find that area in which you want to work in. Now, for me, I thought I was going to be an actress. Well, of course, I can't really be an actress because I don't have that skill set. So that is why when I walked into NAB, I said this was my kind of town. Do you see that connection? And I was very successful in that industry. So look at what you want to do. And don't ever forget about what you did as a kid, and try to figure out how to make some money doing that. Everything is possible. Because why? You're the boss. This is where it's going to get really interesting. There are different ways to own a company, okay? What I don't want you to do is rush out there and say, hey, I have to go hire an attorney and become a corporation, because that's going to cost you money, right? So there's sole proprietorships. In the early 50s, everybody was a sole proprietorship. All right? And then the attorneys came in and they said, okay, everybody has to be a corporation. Partnerships, what's a partnership? One or two people, partnership. 3 people, partnership. Sole proprietorship, 1 person. Limited liability company, it's a umbrella of a corporation. You're not a president, you're a member. Limited liability company is everybody's called members. Kind of like a glorified partnership, and so, but they're members. But you get to have the corporate umbrella, so for legal purposes. Corporation, an S corp and a nonprofit. Okay, nonprofits are great. I've always wanted to have a nonprofit myself for different areas in which I'm committed to in my life, like the disabled children and stuff like that, which I'm going to do that one day, actually. Right now, I think a lot of you might be sole proprietorships. How many of you are freelancers working as like a one person? Yeah? Okay, cool. So if you are that type of person and you're just getting started, being a sole proprietorship is a good way because you don't have any, you didn't have to go see an attorney to do a corporation. Sole proprietor, doing business in your own name as an individual, no corporate liability status, advantages, works well with people with little financial risk. Okay, so here's how you have to think about it. When you become a sole proprietorship, everything's under you. The odds are you're not going to sue yourself, okay? Or nor can you. When you become a limited liability company and a corporation, that means you probably have people working for you. So you want to go ahead and protect yourself. So that's when you move into these other corporate entities. All right, so there's different corporate entities. What do you need to be a sole proprietorship? Because you want to set your company up so that you can obtain financing for your equipment, so that you can be recognized as a business, and that you are truly a business, okay? So you're going to go to your, wherever you live, City Hall, and you're going to get a thing called a fictitious business name statement. You can apply for it through your city. You can Google it. It costs about $35, maybe it's $50, and you file it. And now you're going to get a form that says, I'm ABC. I'm going to be, whatever your business name is, okay? And that is very important that you do that, because the moment you do that is the day you started your business. Because you're going to come to somebody one day, you're going to say, I've been in business 3 years. Well, prove it. How do you prove it? Through the fictitious business name statement. Oh, Barbara, I need to finance this $20,000 camera. How long you been in business? Well, I've been filming skateboard competitions for 4 years. How do you prove that to me? Well, I don't know. Do you have a fictitious business name statement? Get a fictitious business name statement right away. It doesn't matter. It just costs $50, something like that. Even if you change your name, it's okay. But the day that you get that fictitious business name statement is the day you're going to start your business. And as Dan said earlier, you can change your mind and change it to another name. Sometimes people have 2 and 3 businesses that have changed and they have evolved as time has gone by. So also, I'm not a big one into a lot of paperwork and all of that stuff, but do have in your mind, as Dan mentioned earlier, a small business plan. You could put it on a piece of paper. What is my roadmap? I'm ABC production company. I am going to go film rodeos. I am going to go to 2 trade shows. I am going to find 5 people that I'm going to talk to. This week I'm going to call 2 people. Have a mini business plan, just a roadmap. You have to know what is your purpose. Every business, I'm a dry cleaners. What's the purpose? They're going to clean your clothes, right? You're a production company. You're a freelancer. You have a lens. What is your purpose? Find a purpose, meaning something you're going to gear yourself into. Like for me, Remember, I walked into NAB and I said, this is my kind of town, right? Well, then I started exclusively financing equipment for broadcasting. People that were entrepreneurs, small individuals. I've got clients now, guys, that started with very young, and it's fast forward 30 years. I went to go see them in New York. I thought they were still a one-man band. I went to the Avenue of the Stars, took the elevator, they opened the doors, and this is huge production company, okay? And they started just like you. But know your purpose. Who's your client? Find the client that you would have wanted to work with when you were a kid. That's my suggestion. Find some type of people. So when I started the business in equipment financing, I could finance any gadget in the world, okay? Any gadget. But I knew one thing for sure, I didn't want to talk to doctors because they're too analytical. I don't want to hear it. I don't speak their language. I don't have a 8-year college degree, and I wouldn't have been good at it. So I stayed away from that industry. Now, of course, I can talk to doctors, but we actually have a medical portfolio. But the thing is that I stayed away from areas in which I had no interest to talk to that type of company. I stayed with the type of people I wanted to do business with, because what you like to do, you'll be successful at it. So know your purpose. What kind of clients that you want to attract? That's on the same page. What type of equipment will you need to get started? Here you go. You're going to have to buy equipment. This is an equipment type job, okay? Every business has to have some equipment. How do you buy that equipment? You can rent it. So if you only need it once or twice a year, you're going to rent it. You're going to need to be in business, so you're going to need a fictitious business name statement, but you're going to need equipment. And then you're going to have to set your budget. And remember one thing. What is equipment? Equipment produces an income. So when you go out to look to purchase equipment, you have to make sure that that equipment is going to pay for itself, right? So in my world, if you bought a $10,000 camera, it would be $200 a month. Will you make $200 a month on that piece of equipment? That's how you have to gear yourself. You don't want to get too loaded up with all kinds of equipment and all types of bills, because at night you'd like to sleep, right? You don't want to have so much debt that you can't sleep. You have to be able to really be conservative when you're purchasing, so that you're not always buying the newest and greatest thing. One thing I do know about this industry is that they are committed to their dealers. Stay with the dealers that you like to do business with. Here's what will happen. You'll be successful, and your camera will break, your lens will break. You have a shooting tomorrow, you have to go to it. You don't have a lens. You could probably walk in here and talk to Dan, and he'd probably give one to the loaner, only because you are committed to his business. You know who he is. He knows who you are. I have the same insurance company for 40 years. I stay with my service providers, okay? Because when I call them, they know my name. So learn to do that as a business too, and in your personal life. Setting goals. You need to have your goals because you have to grow. And I don't believe that it has to be a 10-page just set your goals. But here's what I like. What's your 10-year goal? And if you have some good in the world for that, as Dan was speaking about earlier, add that there. Because somehow the universe will work. If there's something good in that 10-year goal to help other people, you're going to be successful. And God or the universe or Buddha, whatever you believe in, will help get you to that, because you have something good in the world to give back. Believe me, it sounds a little cliche, but it's not. Being kind to one another and having good business practices will keep you sustained. You know how many finance companies have come and gone in my tenure at 32 years? So many. But we've stayed strong, we've stayed small, we've stayed honest, and that will get you a lot of places. How do you get customers? You got all the gear now, you're ready to go, you got the fictitious business name statement. Guess what? Somebody's got to pay for all that, and that's your customers. So let's find them. go to trade shows. So let's go to, I don't know, am I going to use the rodeo as a good example today? I think it is, because you could use it for anything. You could say, hey, I want to only film clowns, or I want to just do documentaries on restaurants, or, I mean, the world is your oyster, my God. You got so many choices to do things with in your career. But find something you want to do and understand. So go to the trade show. So if I were going to say, hey, I'm going to be a documentary, I'm going to do something in the rodeo business, I have no idea what you do there, but I'm going to go to the trade shows. I'm going to walk around and learn, okay? And then I'm going to join associations. There must be an association for rodeo people. For example, I went to NAB for 22 years in a row every single year. I had an exhibit booth. Why? Because NAB was my kind of town, remember? So I was going to get in it, I was going to jump in the pool, and I was going to swim. So I had a booth there for many years, and then I would go every single year, and I got to know so many people, and I started my career there, right? And I joined the associations. I had belonged to some of the broadcasting associations, and I would go to their meetings, okay? And I sat on boards, and I did all kinds of things there, and sometimes they didn't always want me to be on their board or be on their association, but I just kept trying until somebody said, hey, yeah, you could be on my board. Okay, great. So then I would write articles. I'm a terrible writer, but I have a friend now. I named her Teresa, by the way. Her name is ChatGP. Yes, she does a great job. But prior to that, I had to write articles, and they would get published sometimes about different things in the industry that were mine, and I got to be known. I did seminars like this, workshops, where I would travel and tell people how to start a business. Do you get what was this about? How to get customers. You have to give to get back, okay? And then, of course, network face-to-face. Oh, gosh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Think about it. When the fax machine came out, I was happy. Now, I don't even know how to put two things on a screen. I mean, this is crazy stuff. So the face-to-face has kind of gone away because nobody wants to talk to anybody. But please remember this. People do business with people because they like them. That is not going away. I just recently read an article about what it's going to look like in 2075. It could be sooner. I think it's going to be sooner, maybe even 2050. Well, let's see, possibly 2050, yeah. So robots will take over. It's not going to mean that we don't have a lot of jobs, okay? We're going to have plenty of jobs. But you know what's going to get paid the most? Is the consultant. The person, let's say I have a tax guy. Artificial is going to do my taxes for me. But, gosh, I need to talk to Jim, the guy that, well, Jim's going to cost me a lot of money to talk to him. Okay? So as we move forward in the future, it's the in-person consultant that's going to be the really expensive, because automation will take care of everything else. So get to know this. If you're shy, you don't like to talk to people, I suggest you learn how to do it. I know how to do it. Take an improv class. I was so shy as a child that when somebody would ask me my name, I'd go, Barbara. Look at me now. I'm standing up here talking to you. I had to learn that. I learned that because I became a waitress. Please work on this, okay? Face to face. They're going to do business with you. You're going to get the best account in the world. You're going to do business with Disney. You're going to do business with whoever you want to. You name the game. Why? Because you're the boss. It's your dream. It's not their dream. It's your dream. Okay, so you have to get the appointment to walk in there and look at the person. And guess what? There's a chance that you don't want to do business with them. So face-to-face will give you a lot of opportunities. So now you're a business. You've got your fictitious business name statement. You're ready to go. You got a few clients that want to pay you. Now what do? If you've done everything that I just said, that's awesome. but you must do this. Do you know what the word commingling means? You have to have your own business credit card. Have 2 credit cards, one for your business and one for your personal life. Do not commingle your business. Even though you're a proprietorship, it feels like you're just working for yourself, but you're going to not be a business if you don't separate the business cost and your personal life. You go out to dinner with your friends, that's personal, that goes on one credit card. You fly to NAB, that's business. You buy a camera, that's business. Keep track of that. It's also a good way, if you're not really great at bookkeeping, you can, at the end of the year, figure out these 2 business cards, okay? Very important. Business checking account. Do not commingle. Do not interface your personal life with your business life. Do not pay from your personal business checking account the credit card that belongs to the company. Even if you're John Doe doing business as John Doe needs his own business card for the business. So you get a business checking account. What do you need to get a business checking account? You need to walk into a bank with that fictitious business name statement. Business credit. Oh my gosh, you've grown now. You got the big account. The rodeo's doing really well for you, okay? And now what do you have to do? You have to hire some people. You have to buy some equipment, okay? You might want to start thinking, once you start hiring people, that you want to become a corporation or an LLC. You've got your business credit cards. How many of you have credit cards right now? Okay, everybody seems to have credit cards. So that's a good thing, because you can get another credit card. You can establish your credit. You need to check your personal credit. How many of you have ever checked your personal credit? Oh, I like it. Okay. So this is how you check your personal credit. Remember, being a business is going to require you to have good credit. So that's why I suggest don't buy a house that's too big for you to manage the mortgage. Don't rent an apartment that's too much to pay for. Don't buy too much equipment that you can't afford, that's not going to be useful. Stay conservative so that you can make those decisions, as Dan said earlier, that if they didn't turn out, it wasn't catastrophic. Because you want to throw a lot of balls in the air, and you want a few of them to really land nicely. And the ones that don't shouldn't take you down. So you have to make sure that your credit is good and pay your bills on time. This is a good, you can take a picture of this if you want. Annualcreditreport.com is a free service. It is free for you to check your credit. Once a year, check your credit, so that if there's anything negative on it, you will bite it in the butt now, okay? There's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They all talk to each other. They are not government owned, they're privately owned. They have all kinds of erroneous information they share with each other, and it's up to you to make sure that your credit looks good. Even if you were late, because listen, we all fall down sometimes. So make sure that you, once a year, check your credit. I'm going to give you another really important advice right now. You check your credit, and guess what? You found out that there's a 30-day late, a 60-day late, a 90 days late, whatever. There's some stuff in there. It took you from a 700 FICO score now to a 650. Guess what? 650 doesn't make it in the world of trying to buy something. You're going to get really high rates. You can dispute it, okay? And when you dispute it with the credit card company, this is all you need to say. The information you have reported on ABC account is not correct. Please delete. Most people write a letter going like this. Well, in 2020, I fell down and broke my leg, so I was late on that one bill, but the doctor said I couldn't really. Do you think the lady in India cares? Like, what is it that you want her to do? Delete the negative information. So don't give them a story. They don't want a story. So anytime you look at your credit and you see something negative, those are the words you use. Okay? Now here's the story. Sometimes in life, you might be late in your payments. And the reason why this is part of this how to start a business is because if you don't have good credit, your business is going to suffer. You have to have good credit so that you can make things work, okay? So the credit and the credit reporting agencies are very important for you to make sure that you get in touch with. Once a year, always check. Oh, here's what I was going to say. So it is true. We do fall behind sometimes, right? I remember one time I went to go buy a car, and I went to every car dealer, and every car dealer took my credit, and they all ran a credit check on me, and because of that, I couldn't buy a car because I had too many inquiries. Okay? Now, I didn't know that, so now I have to say, oh, I have to make sure. It's a rodeo game out there, okay, you guys? So please don't fall for that. But if you are behind, if you start, let's say that you're behind January, February, March, okay? You know you're behind. But you paid the last 6 or 7 months on time. The credit card agency or whoever's reporting to these experienced people, the agencies, they will report that. But if you've been paying them on time, you'll write that letter, please delete. And then when you write that letter, please delete, the law requires, the consumer law, that the Experian or TransUnion or Equifax contacts the reporting entity, and they have 30 days to either respond or remove. And what I believe is that if you have been paying on time, they're just going to let it drop off. They cannot get a hold of the credit agency and ask them to remove the negative because it's against sort of their rules and regulations, right? You can't report somebody late and then not, but they will not respond if the customer is paying on time. In most cases, I say. This is about the end of this presentation, but I just wanted to give you, Americans have always believed that they live in the land of opportunity. Wouldn't you agree to that? If we wanted to go sell used paper clips on this corner over here, as long as we had a fictitious business name statement, we could give it a whirl. It doesn't mean that we'll make any money off of it, but guess what? We could try it, right? Okay, so anyone who has a good idea, determination, and the willingness to work hard can start a business, all right? In 2018, there were 16.4 million sole proprietors. This is a little bit old. This came off of the website of the U.S. government. But 16.4 million sole proprietorships, 1.6 partnerships, 4.5 million corporations. Look at, there's more sole proprietorships than there are corporations, and 22 million total independent enterprises. We make up. Companies with less than 50 people are the backbone of our country. 99% of all independent enterprises in the U.S. have fewer than 500 people. 99, you guys. 19.6 million Americans work for companies that employ 20 workers or less. There is so much room for you entrepreneurs, okay? Lots and lots of room. Matter of fact, we're going from a country right now of not being so much government employed, but also they say that it's going to be a second wave of businesses and entrepreneurs, because all of you young people with all of your ideas and your computer skills and all this, that we are actually moving into a new industrial type environment. Lots and lots and lots of room for you to grow. Good luck with all of your success, and I look forward to watching you grow.